What is up, cheeseheads? Welcome back to another episode of BAM GPG. So, Bryson, Packer fans, we got a quick one here for you today. We're going to go through the injury report, and then we're going to dive into some of the key matchups and what to watch for in Green Bay visits Arizona this weekend, Sunday. So it's coming right up. We had a good game Thursday night tonight with Aaron Rodgers versus Joe Flacco,
Yes.
Steelers and the Bengals tonight. So the Bengals did pull out that win, surprisingly. We both had the Steelers winning that game. So Flacco, flashing some youth. I think he had over 300 passing yards tonight. Chase, huge night out of Jamar Chase.
I feel like he's the best player on that team right now.
Oh, for sure. Jamar Chase, 161 yards, 1 touchdown for Jamar Chase. He's 1 of 1 at wide receiver. And I'm happy with it, right? I got Jamar Chase on one of my fantasy teams, so I can't complain there. Yes. So let's start here, Bryson, with the injury picture. So this is where Green Bay is, this week heading into the game in Arizona, what we've seen so far. So Aaron Banks has been limited. Anthony Belton has also been limited. Warren Brinson has been full participation. Javon Bullard did clear the concussion protocol, so he's been full participation. Matthew Golden got a little dinged up, but he's been full participation all week. Josh Jacobs is dealing with an illness, so he's been limited during the week. Brandon McManus still has not participated with that quad injury. And Jordan Morgan and Jacob Monk have both been limited. Lukas Van Ness did not participate again as he deals with that sore foot. Thankfully, no fracture there. Christian Watson, we know he's trying to make his way back. He's been limited with the knee. Dontavian Wicks has also been limited with the ankle, and Devontae Wyatt also did not participate again this week.
I think Christian Watson and possibly not Devontae Wyatt. Wicks.
Yeah, Dontavian Wicks.
Yeah, Dontavian Wicks. I think Christian Watson will come back and Dontavian Wicks might come back too.
Yeah, it'd be great to add some depth at that wide receiver for this coming week. Now, McManus's quad injury issue, Bryson, is starting to be a little bit of a concern. We'll see how that plays out. It looks like he's kind of trending to missing this week as well. Van Ness being out of the practice is also worrying. That adds more. Makes our defensive front a little bit more thin, especially with Wyatt being out as well. So reports, suggested again, no fracture, but there is some soreness to that foot. So it's going to take some time. On the positive side, as we mentioned, Bullard, he's back, fully cleared, ready to play. No more concussion protocol for Bullard. So key injuries, they're going to be a storyline to watch up into game time to see who we have here. Even on Arizona's side, you got Murray with the foot, Harrison's concussion status. So we'll see with Murray. If he's unable to go, Jacoby Brissett would likely start again for them. But Bryson, let's kind of shift over here. Let's look at some of the key matchups, right, for this game and some of the tactical battles that could really decide this game on Sunday between the Packers and Cardinals. So here's what we see as the most critical matchups and storylines heading into this game on Sunday. So number one is going to be that Packers edge rush and their run defense, right? Arizona Cardinals, they like to run the ball outside. They run very, very heavy outside. That's kind of their run scheme there in Arizona, which really does kind of play into Green Bay's favor and strength, as we have pretty strong edges with Micah Parsons and Rashawn Gary. I know Lukas Van Ness will be out, but for me, that really does play into our strength. Now, where that's a benefit especially is because Devontae Wyatt being limited, probably going to be out this week. Green Bay's interior run defense, it's a little more vulnerable with Wyatt not in there, right? So linebackers, edge rushers, they're going to need to fill the gaps and really hold the edge to push that run back inside for Green Bay. Now, Rashawn Gary, Micah Parsons, they're going to be key in this matchup on setting that edge, as I mentioned, and getting those runs forced back to the inside for the Packers, where the linebackers can really plug those holes. Now, Edgerrin Cooper and Quay Walker versus Cardinals running backs. Cooper and Walker, they really do have a chance this game to control Arizona's rushing attack and chase down a lot of those perimeter plays. Now, with Arizona's running back, Demercado, Yeah, probably slaughtered that one. But with Demercado out, Arizona will likely they're going to turn to Bam Knight or Michael Carter, or probably a combination of both. Right, so they don't have that high end production with him out. So if the Packers linebackers, if Quay Walker can stay disciplined in this game, they can control that run game. They can control that facet of the game very easily. Now, the pass protection for the Packers is going to be something to look out for as well with that offensive line. We know they're starting to kind of get back healthy. You saw Zach Tom back in the lineup last week, and that defensive front as well. So Van Ness and Wyatt are kind of trending to being out. Green Bay's defensive line, it's going to be a little bit thinner for this game, right? So that puts a lot more pressure on the offense to kind of keep the ball on that side of the field, keep the clock going, keep that defense off the field as much as possible. Arizona's, yeah.
And I also want to mention, I just think Jamar Chase is a top 2 wide receiver.
Yeah, Jamar Chase, yeah, absolutely. He's
last game.
Yeah, he's the best of the best. There's no doubt about that. Now, back into these matchups here, Arizona, they're going to try to exploit some of these mismatches, possibly in the offensive side of the line or the interior front of the Green Bay Packers with Wyatt out. And we know the quarterbacks, they've been getting the ball out of that's been kind of the game plan against the Packers here recently, is quick releases, quick timing, those slant passes, those dump offs, those screens. So Green Bay's really going to have to hone in on that. We mentioned it earlier this week. Hafley's really going to have to probably scheme a little bit different because we can't come out of a second half again looking flat on defense. So gonna have to scheme a little bit different there. I would expect Arizona to try to exploit some of those mismatches that you saw Dallas do, that you saw Cincinnati do in the second half last week. So gonna have to clean some of that up on that side of the ball. Now, if Murray starts for the Cardinals, Bryson, his mobility, that does add another danger dimension. Even if he is limited, we know he likes to get out of the pocket, likes to run. Now, if Brissett starts, and he's likely to start, he's capable. We saw him last week. He threw for 320 yards, 2 touchdowns, but he's not as dangerous with his legs as Kyler Murray is, right, Bryson? And the Packers, they're going to need to find balance, balance pressure and coverage. As we mentioned, they get that pressure, that coverage has got to play a little bit tighter to the ball to avoid some of those, kind of those pins and punctures that you see you saw it the last couple weeks with Green Bay's defense. So they got to avoid getting beat deep, right? We've seen that with some of our corners. Nate Hobbs more specifically, he's got to clean some of that up. Nixon's been pretty decent, and I was pleasantly surprised with Valentine's play last week, especially against Jamar Chase. I even like that he hit him with a gritty there for a minute as well. So secondary, Harrison's status, that still looms large. We don't know if he's going to be playing in this game or not. If he's limited or out, that Arizona receiving core, it's going to be a lot thinner, which does play into the favor of those Green Bay cornerbacks. And the Packers defensive backs, they're going to have to be sharp this game, right? Avoid overcommitting and defend the intermediate and closer zones, as we mentioned.
Mention Keyshawn Nixon. He had to really light it up this season.
He did. Yeah, he had to assume that cornerback one role with Alexander gone, and I think he's done a fantastic job at it as well.
Too.
Now, something to look out for on Arizona's offense, they do have a deep threat in Michael Wilson, so he's got to be accounted for, especially if matched up in favorable coverage on the outside there. And as we mentioned, special teams, if McManus is unavailable again, they'll probably look for the Packers to turn to Lukas Haversick. We saw him last week. He was 2 for 2, both extra points and field goals. So field position, punts, and any return opportunities could become more consequential this game, especially in a close game. If they're in a close game in Arizona, these are going to be very, very important. Our special teams have got to come to play. Arizona's special teams, any turnovers, that could really shift momentum if they're able to, kind of outplay us in special teams. If they're, Green Bay's really struggled in turnovers, if they're able to, get Green Bay to turn the ball over via, interception, fumbles, what say it. That really could turn the momentum, especially on the road. in an environment like Arizona. So Green Bay, to win this game, Green Bay's going to have to win at the line of scrimmage, both offensively and defensively, especially that run defense and that passing protection. We've seen it kind of break down earlier this year. Again, I know we're getting healthier, so that's a promising sign. And then Bryson, will Arizona's quarterback, will they be able to consistently move the offense, or will Green Bay kind of force them into those quick 3-and-outs, what we're looking for? And which defense is going to
I think we'll just force him into 3-and-outs.
I would love to see that. I mean, again, they're going to have to clean up that intermediate and that kind of closer zone coverage with our D backs. But it'll be interesting to see which defense, Arizona's Green Bay, really makes the big plays. Who has the turnovers? Who has the sacks? We know Green Bay, we don't have a lot of turnovers this year. We've really struggled this year in takeaways. And a lot of that is because of our pass rush. You're not seeing as many balls go downfield. The release, the timing's a lot quicker. You're seeing a lot of dump off slants, the screens. So a lot of that plays into it as well as far as turnovers, but you would like to see Green Bay start to kind of capitalize a little bit and get a little bit higher that plus minus in the turnover category. With all that in mind, Bryson, this is going to be a fascinating matchup, right? The Packers have strengths in a lot of areas that Arizona's vulnerable, right? So, but injuries and execution, it's going to matter a lot in this game, especially on the defensive side of the ball. So that is a wrap for today's episode,
Yep.
Bryson. Update and matchup preview. So next episode here that we do on this preview, we'll break down the projected lineups, some of the player props, angles, some of that fun things, and we'll get into our picks for this game, let you know what our score prediction will be. So stay tuned. If you haven't already, hit that like and subscribe button, and we will be back with some more Packers as we get closer and closer to that matchup on Sunday. And as always, Bryson,
Let's go, Pack, go.